For this month's Student to Student segment, we interviewed Alex Robinson, the MASSPIRG organizer here at Bristol Community College.
MASSPIRG stands for the Massachusetts Public Interest Research Group. We're a statewide student-funded and student-directed group that works on big social problems like getting out the youth vote, stopping global warming, raising awareness about hunger and homelessness, and lowering the cost of higher education.
We asked Alex about MASSPIRG's Get Out the Vote initiative.
That's our new voters project. It's our big campaign for the fall. It's one of the largest nonpartisan youth voter registration efforts in the country. Basically what we do is, there's two elements to what we do. It's voter registration. There's a voter registration blitz. You got to get people registered to vote. The deadline is October 15th. The way we do that is instead of doing, most groups do what we call the death march, where you have someone sitting at a table every day, falling asleep on their table, just accepting whoever wants to register. We do it in the final 3 days before the deadline because it's more urgent. People can't say they'll do it the next day because they can't. And it's more efficient use of your time, and it's more exciting, more fun for your volunteers. So then we get everybody registered as much as possible. While we're registering people, we try to get as much of their contact information as possible. And we have a number of other events we call Pledge to Vote events. We get people to pledge to vote, we get their contact information, and then what we do is a Get Out the Vote effort. Basically, in the 5 days running up to the election on November 4th, we call all the people's numbers we have. We email everybody's email we have. We text message. We deluge people with the message to go out and vote. And we've done studies that show that just this reminder to vote, although it sounds really kind of inane, it actually gets people to vote. I think a phone call increases the chance of someone coming out to vote by 6%. So if you call 20 people, that's like another extra person that you've turned out to vote.
Alex elaborated on what MASSPIRG has done in the past as far as getting the vote out.
Pretty much the same thing. This is pretty much our time-evolved method of getting out the vote. In the past, at other places we've done events like, what changes every year is like the theme of our event. We're trying to make it exciting, trying to make it cool. Some places this year are doing an event where there's a youth voter rally on campus. These are some of our other schools that are residential colleges, and then they're getting up early in the morning, having a rally to show the power of the youth voter, and then are going off to the polls together. We won't do that here, but we try to come up with creative events like that.
We asked Alex about MASSPIRG's voter registration drive's slogan.
Make them pay attention to us. That's the slogan of our campaign. For a really long time, people have tried to get students out to vote by telling them it's their civic duty, by telling them, 1 million people died for you to have your vote. And that's true, but youth just don't respond to that message. We've learned that. We've been doing this for a long time. What we found is the way you get students out to the polls is by showing them that the vote is like self-empowerment, self-realization. And by getting students out to vote, our goal is to make politicians regard youth voters as like an important voting bloc, like they would regard, say, elderly people who come out to vote in numbers as high as 80%. And that's really important because youth deserve to be listened to, first and foremost. They aren't, and they deserve to be. And the second thing is youth care about really important issues that are neglected, relegated to the B side of our politics, like stop environmental issues, stopping global warming, like stopping hunger and homelessness, reducing the cost of higher education. These should be primary initiatives of what our government's doing.
We asked Alex a little bit of the history about the student vote in the U.S.
What most people don't know is that students just got the vote in 1971. People between the ages of 18 and 21 got the vote in 1971. And that's pretty recent, actually. And ever since, youth voter turnout has been really low, and it's gotten worse. Through the 80s and 90s, it just got worse. Students got more apathetic. Or they weren't apathetic, it was more that politicians weren't paying attention to them. We call it our cycle of mutual neglect. Politicians weren't paying attention to young people. It's kind of a chicken or egg thing. Young people didn't vote. Young politicians paid even less attention to young people. Young people didn't vote even more. So, but recently that's been changing. Recent developments, I'm not sure what it is. 2004 and 2006, youth voter turnout increased significantly. And that carried into this election season with a record number of students voting in a number of primaries, really blowing away a lot of the so-called pundits' expectations for the youth vote. So we think that in the history of the youth vote, 2008 could be the year that really solidifies the idea that politicians have to pay attention to young people. We expect there to be a record turnout in November. We expect politicians to start changing who they orient their messages to. We hope that whoever wins on November 4th, that 2008 will be remembered as the year of the young voter.